Yeah. So speaking of the Richmond music scene, what are some venues or beloved spaces that you've played in, and any distinct, I don't know, shows or memories that you have?
I don't know. I just think of shows that were kind of iconic for us, at least.
I mean, Strange Matter.
Yeah, we played
that
tons
building.
of shows there.
Well, if you had to say like, oh, what's like the most iconic building, for that era of us?
From like the Nancy Reagan through Strange Matter era.
We never played at Twisters.
We played.
We were too young. We were too young to play at Twisters.
We played there a ton.
In that building.
Yeah. I think we played. I could be wrong about this, but I think we played the first ever show at Insu Boca when they were newly opened. They would do shows and they would just kind of like clear all the tables out and put like a PA right inside the door there. And you would enter through the patio because the band was just like blocking the whole door. And we played, I think, the first show there. Is that right?
Yeah, I think for me, like as far as playing shows in Richmond, like when we were first starting out, playing like house shows was awesome.
Oh yeah,
obviously.
gosh.
It's like all your friends are there. And
we're too old now. We don't know anybody.
Now it's like, like I don't like, oh, there's a house show. Like, oh, no one's telling me about it. Obviously, there's a lot of that happening, but.
Just like the part of having to find the address too sometimes makes me feel old.
I don't like to use the internet either, so like I'm not like on Instagram or any of those things. So it's like if there's like a show happening, like someone has to like call and tell me.
You are probably literally the last person to know.
It's like across the street.
Yeah.
Why is everybody going over there?
Yeah, exactly. But like doing like Churchill house shows and stuff were always awesome. Or like playing shows at the bike lot, always sweet. Or and then like those kind of like the NC Boca type shows where it was just like in a space that didn't necessarily have shows.
Right.
So it was like this kind of in between a house show and like an actual venue. And then like, playing at places like Strange Matter or Gallery 5 or...
We used to play, speaking of like
places.
Businesses or places that would have shows that felt like a house show, we used to play at Rumors Boutique.
Oh, wow.
But they were like in this cool little spot that is now Christian's Pizza on Harrison. But it was like across from Edo's, behind the Village, this tiny little store. And they would have shows, and they were incredible. I loved it because it just felt like a house show, and we played there a lot with a couple different bands.
Yeah, that was fun.
What was the sound set up there? Was it the sound that made it incredible, or was it a...
No, I'm sure the sound was horrible.
It was all vibes all the time.
All vibes, okay.
It was just like so small that like if 50 people showed up, it was like, yes, it was like a lot of people.
I feel like we've always been 90%, as far as when we're playing, 90% vibes and 10% sound. Especially back then. Like now we're like way more into like sounding good, but
I don't know if we got invited. I think we got invited, but we got asked, I think, to play at like a local music festival at one point, and all the other bands played on this like really nice stage out in the field. And then when the festival was over, then we played like over on the grass, and they just like lit our performance with like car lights. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah, that rocks.
People went berserk, man.
I don't remember like the circumstances as to why that was the case, but we were like the after party band. It was like the show had ended and then we played, but it was, it worked for us.
Yeah. I just love imagining that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
When the TV's buzzing and the lights are low, when your blood is thin and your heart is slow, when you're in your head 'cause no one came and you can't recall your new friend's name.
Yeah, I mean, Camo Face still feels like such an homage to Sports Bar in a way too, because doesn't the name come from a Sports Bar song?
Yeah.
It does.
What's the pull there?
Well, if you saw our text history / notebook history, we came up with about 10,000 band names for the new band, and we hadn't had to name a band in so long that like we never really had to like Google band names before. So it was like everything's taken,
Oh,
it's like so easy to look everything up.
Miserable.
Like, back in the day, it would just be like, this is our band name, and
you could, like,
be some other band in Ohio or wherever, that had the same name, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But now it's just like everything.
It's awful.
And then we're like, maybe we should make it a Sports Bar song. And then Camo Face was actually a song that we like didn't play anymore. And we're like, maybe we should do Camo Face, which I can tell you the story about that. That's a song about one of my cousins who lives in a rural area and is really into hunting. And we were hanging out one time, and he was like, man, like, I just want to like be the best hunter ever. I was like, that's cool, dude. And he was like, I'm just gonna like like instead of like putting camo on my face, I'm just like tattoo it on my face, man. Like I'm just gonna be Camo Face. And we were like, I was like, I will pay for you to do that. He didn't do it, but so anyway, that was like the genesis or whatever of that song. So we wrote that song about him, and it was just kind of a bit or whatever. And then later we named the band that. But after we named the band that, we were like, why did we name it Camo Face?
Yeah.
I feel like we don't even like this song anymore.